皆さんこんばんは、ミニッツです。今回もテイルズ・オブ・アイアン2続きからやってまいります。メインクエストを進めましょう。翼の仲間。リジーとアーロは各氏族の代表を集めた今こそ大釜山に戦争を仕掛ける時だ。行こう。
At Winter's Edge, Arlo told Leaf to gather all the clans. They would sing of it forever. He wondered what sort of tale it would be. The clan's leaders listened to the Warden and King's plan. They were nervous of this flying contraption, but their fear was as nothing compared to their iron will. They would take the mountain, the Sky Scorcher, and Count Kazak himself. Raising their weapons in salute, Arlo was glad to see his friends united, though the feeling was bittersweet. It seemed impossible all would return, armed and ready to fight. At its heart, Ertl waited. Arlo felt again the sense of safety at the turtle, and took it as a good omen. Ertl bellowed the order, and they felt the ground fall away. The ship lurched, as did the soldiers' stomachs. They held their nerve. Against the bats, they would need it. With a thud, Arlo loved mountains, or had loved the thought of them in the great tales of far away. But this one he did not like at all. Its icy wind chilled more than his fur. They made hasty camp, readying themselves for the fight. Keeping busy stopped the frost from biting. So it began. Side by side, the king and the warden hacked a path through the bats to the walls of Cauldron Castle. The way was shut, barred and guarded. Leathery wings beat all of it. The king had come prepared. The gate was shattered with a boom that echoed across the mountainside. It was a hammer blow to their enemies' hearts. Inside the castle, they found themselves in the chef's store. Before they could be disgusted at the contents, they had to take care of the chef. They moved in step, a flawless dance of blood and vengeance. Neither knew that their own blood. Arlo found Rita battling the Darkwing Smith, but the Smith's mighty hammer soon overpowered her. Together, Arlo and Erica fought in the throne room. They finally set eyes on the foul, laughing figure of Count Kazak, sat on his icy throne. Ertl kneeled exhausted before him. This pained the warden more than he could explain. Kazak left his beast to fight them. He had a king to kill. Arlo and Robin fought with all they had, their hope.
よいしょ。
The icy wind bit at his fur as he emerged on the peak. He saw, silhouetted in the mist, Count Kazakh, and in his claws he held King Reggie, dangling over the edge. With a shriek of victory, the Count let go of the king and seemed to melt into the foe.
うわー、
The Count's corrupted body fell heavy on the ground. Arlo rushed to the edge, calling for the king, but the only answer in the mist was the icy wind. The war was won, but Arlo could not feel the victory. He barely noticed his friends join him. The Fellowship bowed their heads in honor of their brave king. The tale of this war would be as much of loss as of winning. Arlo heard a commotion ahead. In the throne room were raised voices. Bertel stood in front of Reggie's throne, holding the crown, asking who should now carry this burden. Dennis barged forward to claim it. He was brother of the king. It was his by birth. Robin stepped forward and proclaimed that Arlo was rightfully king. Without him, there would be no kingdom to rule. He had proved himself on the peak. He was not alone. Leaders of the clans stepped forward and echoed their favor of the warden. Arlo objected. He had no claim here. Bertel slammed his staff into the floor to silence the rising voices. He had a secret to tell. Arlo's father was King Rattus. Bertel himself had delivered him as a child to the warden. He had a claim, if he was willing to take it. Arlo felt the truth of it, and the paw of destiny seemed to push him forward to take his place upon the throne. Bertel placed the crown upon his head. The weight of rule was his now. Dennis had been forgotten in the shouts of joy from the clans. He raised his blade and swore vengeance. It was his birthright, and he would reclaim it from this usurper. Arlo set aside the warden and became the king. A new dawn broke over the land, bright and clear. The king sensed it would not last. The promise of his half-brother would surely mean war would come again. But that, as they say, is a tale for another time.
はい。Tales of Iron 2クリアでございます。レジ死んじゃった。別の楽しみ方を見出せると思うから、ぜひこの